New update has been announced. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to another Bit Legend video, fellas. There is a new update that has been announced. If you want to see it and read it for yourself, it is in the updates channel in the Discord. The link is, of course, in the description. But in this video, I'm just going to loop raids in the background, and I'm going to read it for you. So, yeah, let's do that. You might hear me grabbing a drink from the fridge. That is the benefit of recording on the phone. I get to wander around sometimes. So anyways, all right, let's get back at it. Other videos that are coming out, I'm making a bunch of minions, so you guys will see Zeus Bird, the best healing minion in the game. You'll see Poseidon Shark, the best tanking minion in the game. You'll see a random dog barking off in the distance. And number 3 is Sword God, the highest potential DPS minion in the game. And speaking of minions, as you're going to find out in this announcement, there is a new minion, the Notzilla, that'll be coming, and we can only guess. But I've got some good ideas on what's going to go with that. So anyways, that's what's coming up. I do still plan on doing a mount video. However, this update actually changes that. And what else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. All right. Oh, and I did get the Earth Pet, so maybe I'll show Earth Pet off this week in Guild Boss 5. So all right, let's get to it, and we'll just hit these things as we get to them. So this update is scheduled for August 20 to 24, so it'll be coming around that time. Number 1, there is the new class, the Artist, that you guys have heard about. It is a tank / DPS hybrid with unique abilities, and I'll be talking more about that when I am able. So the Artist is finally coming. I would suggest save up. Hopefully you've already been doing this, but save up your XP books, your red books, your other materials and stuff. In case Artist is just ridiculously awesome, you're going to want to be able to upgrade it as soon as possible. So, number 2, new Radiation Zone. Raid 9 will contain new set pieces without increasing the TS from current sets. So they're very conscious of how fast they were coming out with new gear and new content and all that stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense to come out with new gear when people are still working on Guild Boss gear and Raid 8 gear and all that. And players want to know how long their gear is going to last. The last time we talked about this, the devs said they were looking at a 4-month cycle, which I think is very healthy for the game. That means that you're going to have 3 tiers or 3 loot cycles per year. It's pretty healthy. It's enough time to farm stuff. It's enough time to enjoy what you got. And that is the last I heard. So I still think they're hanging on 3 months. The only reason why we've seen all this content so fast is because they were getting the game ready for the official launch. And by the way, we're out of beta. This is the official game. So there you go. And welcome all my iOS people. You guys have waited patiently. And there you go. So, all right. So Raid 9's coming. Also, a little word about Raid 9. I would expect Raid 9 to be very, very difficult. We as the community, we take being able to do the 3rd difficulty on raids for granted. A lot, we're used to that. If you get a team that has, end tier gear, if you have 4 friends like that, they should be able to carry you through that kind of content. That might not be the case going forward. We'll see. I'll talk about Raid 9 when I can. But as of right now, I would expect Raid 9 to be very, very difficult. So do not be super surprised if you get punched in the face. Again, we'll talk about that when we get there. Number 3. Addition of a new feature. There's a new feature, World. So players will be able to travel between cities. There's currently only 2 cities, so I guess it's the city we have, and then we'll be able to go to a desert city. Honestly, I don't like the current city that we have. It's like we're hanging out at like the shipping docks. It's not very vibrant. It's not bright. It's just a bunch of kind of dull colors. I feel like I'm just hanging out in a parking lot, honestly. I'm hanging out in a parking lot with a bunch of ships there, and when I go fish, I'm just like fishing off the edge of a parking parking lot. Like, what's going on? Let me see zombies and destroyed buildings and this post-apocalyptic stuff. I feel like I'm just in a Chinese shipping deck where they, you've probably seen in the YouTube videos where they have like thousands of ships come in and a giant crane pulls this, truck size load off and moves it from here to here in the shipping containers and all that. Why am I there? Let me see something, because the art in this game is good. Number 4, so the city being added, Desert City. I wonder if it's similar to the background picture or the splash image of the game where the character's just kind of like looking over and seeing these like destroyed buildings off in the desert. That'd be kind of cool. I know the game likes orange, the orange color theme, so I'm very eager to see that. And also that'll give me a new thumbnail pictures for these YouTube videos. That'd be kind of nice. Number 5, new feature, navigation. Most of the main interface buttons will be removed and replaced with navigation, causing players to walk to the corresponding NPC to use their functions. This will not affect the dungeon functions. So I'm a little hesitant on this one. Yes, there are a ton of buttons and the user interface is getting a little bit clustered. However, I guarantee that 100% of players don't know where the NPC is for campaign, and they don't know where the NPC is for radiation zone, and they don't know where the NPC is for all those things. I think it's cool to have NPCs for those, but I do think it's reasonable to have it on the interface as well. I guarantee there's nobody watching this video that knows exactly where all those guys are, and it'll be if they completely remove it the way that it's written here, it's going to be confusing for new players. It's going to be confusing for existing players. And it's one of those things like, okay, I got to go to raid, so I got to walk all the way across town, and then let's go do expedition, so I got to walk all the way back. It's going to be very difficult for this to be done in a way that's well. What they could do maybe in the new zone is all the NPCs are next to each other. But the next problem is, what if somebody is standing on the NPC that you need to click? This happens all the time, and it's unavoidable. Unless they put the NPCs and they put like a collision box around where you can't walk too close. That would be the way to fix that one, I guess, and that's actually really simple. But there's been plenty of times where I've wanted to click on the refining guy or the leaderboard NPC, and I'm not able to click them because somebody with a giant mount is standing there. We've all seen that. So I'm curious about that, and I'm going to submit some feedback on that one, so don't worry. But we'll see how it goes. They do have my trust. I know they know what they're doing. Number 6, the new shop, the cosmetic shop. Players will be able to buy different kinds of cosmetic/mountain equipment from the shop. So I actually don't know how that's different from the pack shop. Does this imply that this is all free-to-play currency, or is it a mix of premium currency and free-to-play currency? I have no idea. So new cosmetic shop. I do like more cosmetic options. Big fan of that. Number 7, a claim all button has been added to the Battle Pass. So Battle Pass was expanded to 70 levels, and if you get the premium, that means you have to click, 140 times to collect all your loot, and the buttons are incredibly tiny, especially if you're on mobile. So claim all button is awesome there. Claim all button, number 8, has been added to the daily tasks as well. So if you don't like clicking through all of those little daily quest things that you do, this will be a lot easier there as well, and that's a good amount of click time there too. Number 9, when recasting mounts, this is huge, you will be able to discard the results and revert back to its previous attributes before recasting if the results are undesirable. So this was a little surprise to me. I was actually planning today to do a video where I craft a new mount and I roll it until I get what I want, and then if I get something that's an improvement, I'll roll my old mount, so that way I'm always saving one mount to be very safe. As a tank with a lot of people using my character, I don't want to risk getting caught doing 50 rolls and then not getting what I need, and then I've got a cruddy mount, and then maybe that impacts somebody else on my friends list. I always want to be prepared, but now I don't have to do that. I can just use my one single mount and just recast and keep it. This reminds me of the Diablo system where you could continuously roll an item, and if you didn't like it, you could always revert back to your previous save. I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome. And it's just another one of the reasons why these devs are awesome, and they're taking care of us. Let's see, number 10. Guild boss battles will display a counter indicating the number of turns left before the guild boss will enter God mode, which is the enrage mode. A lot of people really wanted that. I think it's a phenomenal update. Also, speaking of updates that'll impact Guild Boss, it's not said anywhere. This is already in the game, and so this is not in this update. But they've made it so, and I mentioned this in a previous video, they've made it so that when you've used a skill that can no longer be used again, like your mount skill, it turns red. So let's say Notlock, for example, is on my team. I use his mount skill, then it's his turn again, and he's got enough SP. The mount skill button will be red, so I know that I can't use it again. Same thing with full launch and other abilities like that. So that's awesome. If you get into Guild Boss 5, or if you're doing difficult raid content or World Boss, Bounty Boss, if you have 4 guys on your team that all have mount skills that you want to use and they all have full launch, it's very difficult to remember, okay, I used his full launch, but not the other full launch, and there's no way to know until you cap out their SP. So this is an amazing change, and it happens so fast, so hats off to them. Number 11, items sold at the black market will be storable resource. So they'll be consumables. This is an amazing change. There's plenty of stuff in the black market that I would love to pick up. However, if it's not like an item find day or a gold find day, and I don't want to use the item on that day, I'm not going to get it. So now if it's a consumable, I'm more likely to do that. So it's really good, and it allows the players to play when they can. Let's say, there's really good black market stuff in the weekdays, but what if you only have time to play on weekends? So now you can handle that, and you can play the way that you want to play. So I think that's awesome. I hope the prices stay the same or maybe get better. The discount from black market versus just buying the resources straight it's not a massive discount. So I'd be interested to see any movement there if that would happen. Number 12, settings will be adjustable while in the dungeon. This has been something that's been useful a lot, or would be useful a lot. There's plenty of times where I jump into a dungeon and I realize, I don't have minions turned on or off for the capture, and then I got to deal with the whole raid and then get out and do what else. Also, another suggestion I've made recently is, as you can see on the screen, the autopilot button, I want them to add a looping button right next to it. That way you can manipulate your looping while you're in content. Because right now I'm in raids. If I want to get out of raids, what I have to do is I have to start manualing the raid, finish the raid, and then I can jump out and have looping off, or exit the raid early, which is obviously something I don't want to do. So if they added the autopilot button, or if they added a looping button right next to the autopilot button, I think that would solve that problem. But if you guys have feedback on that or other ideas, put it in the suggestions channel. Let's see, where are we at? Number 13, addition of the ability to enter a player's in-game name opening their... Okay, this is basically a view option. So right now, let's say somebody has joined the game, my friends joined the game or something, and I want to look up their character. If they're not on a leaderboard, or if they didn't just chat in the chat room, or if they're not, there's no way for me to find that person if they're not on a leaderboard. And so what we're currently doing now is the player has to send me their ID, and then I can invite them through their ID, or friends list them through their ID. But also, what if I just want to look at somebody's gear, What if I want to look at, who can I make fun of? What if I want to look at Sledge's gear, and Sledge isn't on any leaderboards because his TS isn't good, and I can't find him. Now I can look him up, and I can creep on Sledge. I'm just kidding. Sledge is on a leaderboard. He's doing fine. But so view command, that's good. Number 14, energy cost for elimination has been reduced to 1 energy. So it used to be 20, 30, and 30 energy, and it used to also use a ticket. Now it'll use 1 energy. I think the reason it's using 1 energy is probably some sort of development reason. Maybe if they put it to 0 energy, something broke, so like, whatever, 1 energy is fine. I think that's a fine change. It already has a resource. I really do like the system, how they have the elimination has a resource that you can save. That's kind of cool. I like that's a little different system, but a lot of players wanted them to take energy off, and I think that's fine. But there you go. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. 1 energy. And also, this won't penalize players so hard if they want to try the more difficulty. That's a good way to say that, difficulty. Before, it's like if you don't think you're going to win this, you're risking 30 energy. You might not want to do that. Now players can try more difficult stuff and see how it goes. Number 15, new monster fusion, not Zilla. This is a thank you to our veteran player / community tech manager, Not, for this monster. or for his monster design ideas. And there you go, boom, number 15, that wraps up the whole thing. So if you want to see this is all on the Discord. You can read it for yourself there. If anything changes or updates or whatnot, everything is, potential to change as it is until it's in the game. You can see if there are any updates, will be there in the update channel. That's what it's for. But as far as the Notzilla monster, I'm very excited to see what it is. I believe Not designed the skills, and then Bob designed the art. And we've seen a little sneak peek of the art. If you want to find that, you can dig it out of the Discord. It's in there somewhere. Hopefully they'll add that little sneak peek of the art to the updates channel, but you got to find it. Looks good. No idea what it's going to be. Don't know if it's going to be a tank or a DPS or this or that. No idea. But I'm very curious to see that one. And like I said, I do believe Not designed the skills on this one, or he had the input on that. And if you don't know, Not is the one that has helped so much behind the scenes with tech issues, other stuff too. He's given really good advisory input and a lot of good feedback. But what separates him from everybody else is that he designed the bot that gave out the coupon codes. He designed the bot that did like every other thing. Him and Lackey have worked on the bot to make the Hunger Games possible. So I'm able to give out codes and do giveaways and friend slots, and all that stuff's going to continue to happen as well. But he's done countless stuff behind the scenes, made many things possible that wouldn't be otherwise, and we all owe him a great debt. And there's plenty of people that have been doing a ton for us behind the scenes, and I think you're going to start seeing those guys pop up in their own unique ways. So, as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Heads up for new videos from me. We got those 3 super BIS minions that are going to be added to the team. I got tired of staring at my rinky-dink budget team, and I'm pretty sure you guys did too, so hopefully we can spice things up, and then also maybe they will be enough to get me through the last of the map content and also increase my guild boss contribution. So, all right, boys, as always, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video.